Hello and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. This reflex image, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do this extreme manipulation from A to Z, apart from removing the background and how to smoothen the background to this extent. I won't be showing you that. There are tons of videos on my channel that will show you how to do exactly just that. So I'll be showing you how to do the manipulation from scratch using PNG files, using overlays. This, unlike the manipulation we do before, we tend to use nothing more than 2 to 3 overlays, but in this video we'll be using up to 8 to 9 overlays, and we'll be blending everything all together to make them work perfectly. So with no further ado, let's jump into action. This picture was actually given to me by a fellow photographer, and I actually saw the concept he was trying to figure out. So I decided to do a manipulation on it, which turned out to be perfect, and I'll be showing you how I do that. Firstly, I went to the site where I do get my PNG files on and my overlays, because I actually don't have these files on my PC. So I just went there. I know the concept I'm looking for. I just started typing my keyword, and it brought everything I need out for me. Then I click on the download. I downloaded them to my PC. So I put them into practice. Then I started my try and error process until I got what I need perfectly. So I'll be showing you how to do that manipulation. So you can actually see I've removed my model from the background right now. Here's what my picture looked like. Where's what my picture looked like before. So I did the background extension. I smoothened the background, and I make sure my model too is there. As you can see right now, the reason why I extend the background there, I want there to be wider space where I can bring in all my files and make them blend in all together. So that's the first step. The next step, I want to start bringing in my files. Firstly, I want to bring in the staff that she will be holding, something like a sword or whatsoever. So I'll just have to go to my file manager. So here are where my files are located. So I can decide to use this staff. Let me go with this staff for now. Let me go with this. Then I'll just have to drag into my Photoshop. Wait for it to load up. Then I'll adjust it. I'll reduce the size the way I want it to be. We'll adjust it. I'll click on my OK. I'll still readjust this. Ctrl T. I'll expand it a little bit until it fits in her hand perfectly fine, as you can see right now. Ctrl T again until I see that it seems as if she's holding it in her hand, like right now. So that being said, that's the first step. The next step is for me to bring in another file. But firstly, I don't like the color this stuff is giving me. I love the blade to be yellowish in color or somehow gold in color, like the handle we have over here. So I'll be changing the color from this whitish, from this silver look to a golden look. So for me to do that, I have to create an empty new layer. Then I'll pick on my color over here and make sure it's on yellow. Click on it. So I'm going to pick on my brush too. Pick my brush. Then I'll scroll over the area where I want it to be. So after doing that, I don't have to right click on the layer I just created right now. I'll clip it, create a clipping marks on the staff layer I just bring in right now. So I'll change the blend mode from normal. I'll change it to overlay. Click on my OK. The color is too much. I just have to bring down the opacity a little bit. Opacity, I'll reduce it a little bit. As you can see, I've got something perfect so far. So now let's start bringing in our overlays. Let me go and bring my the first overlay I'll be using. So I'll go back to my file manager. So here's the first overlay I'll be using, but I only need part of this overlay. I don't need the complete overlay. So let me just drag it into Photoshop first. Then I'll adjust it till I see fit. Adjust it. I'll increase the size. Whatever I'm doing for now, I want it to be below my model layer. As you can see, here's how I want it to be, but I only need part of it. I only need this footer place, this place that should be standing on. I don't need the entire document. So what I'll be doing now, I'll just create a marks on it. This is the document I just brought in. I created a marks on it. So I'll be picking my gradient. Before I pick up my gradient, I'll make sure I turn it to black and white. So here has to be white. This other side has to be black. Make sure my black is turned on. Then I'll pick my gradient. I'll make sure I pick this second brush over here from black to nothing, and make sure I'm clicking on my marks right now. So I just have to drag down so that it's going to be cleaning those parts for me. As you can see, I'm removing the part I don't need. I only need the footer aspect, so this is okay by me right now. So the next thing I'll just need to do, I'll change the blend mode from normal, I'll change it to soft light, as you can see, so that it's going to retain the shadow for all. The shadow is still going to be there, and also what we want it to be showing will also be showing. So that's the first overlay we'll be bringing in. So the next one, I'll still go back to my file manager again. I'll go back to my file manager. So I'll bring in another overlay. I'll be bringing in this overlay right now. So I'll have to drag it to my Photoshop again. So I'll increase the size. So just drag it up to any location I want it to be. Unlike the first one where I need the footer aspect, this I only need the arrow flying in the sky and also this shield right there. So that's what I need in this particular one. So I'm going to clean off this damn part also. So for me to do that, I'll still create a mask on it again. Then I'll still make sure I'm on my gradients. I'm going to clean off this side. I'll clean it off, as you can see. So I'll still change the blend mode from normal. I'll change it to soft light also, as you can see right now. We've done something really okay right now. We can decide to leave our manipulation this way, which look very perfect. Just start the color grading process from this place, but I love doing something more extreme, so I'll just go back to my file manager again. So I'll pick another overlay I'll be using, which is this one in particular. So I'll just have to drag it into my Photoshop again. I'll drag it in. I'll increase the size to whatever size I want it to be until I see fit. So here's how I want it to be. Just have to click on my OK. As you all know, I only need this statue right there. I do not need the entire process. So I'll still create a mask on this also again. Then I'll go to my gradient map also again. Make sure it's on black. I'll still clean up this area. I'll clean it off because I'm not needing this part. I only need this pillar here, this portal here. So I'll still change the blend mode from normal to soft light. So you can see right now, we added 3 background so far, and the 3 are reflecting simultaneously. So here's our first background, here's our second background, here's our third background. So the 3 backgrounds are reflecting on each other. So everything is showing, which make our manipulation look nice. So the next thing we'll be doing right now, I'll be bringing in some files again. Let me start with bringing in some PNG files right now, but there's still a file I'm missing right there. I'm missing this file in particular, so let me just go and bring that into my Photoshop again. So I'll just go back to my file manager again. I'll look where the statue is. This is it over here. So I just have to drag it to my Photoshop. So I'll drag it to the location I want it to be, then I'll adjust the size to whatever size I want it to be. So once I'm okay with it, I click on my OK. Just like before, I'll create a mask on it, but this time around I'll still be using my gradient map to clean off the edges. I'll clean off the edge, as you can see. I'll clean it off from the both sides, so it's going to blend in perfectly. As you can see, I can leave it this way, but as you all know, I love using soft light as my blending mode. I'll just change it from normal also. I'll change it to soft light. Click on my OK. So far so good. We've added 4 to 5 background now, which has blended in perfectly, and all the backgrounds are showing simultaneously, one after the other. One is not blocking one. Everything is showing the way we want it to show. So we're done with that. The next thing, let's start bringing in our PNG files and make our manipulation look more nice right now. So the next thing I want to be bringing in now, I want to bring in my knight of shining armor. But me bringing it in now, there's no place it's going to be standing on, and it will seem as if it's on air. So that's why I have this rock over here. So firstly, I'll drag my rock into Photoshop, wait for it to load up, then I'll reduce the size to where I want it to be. Lucky thing is that the rock came with its own shadow automatically. I just have to place it and we're good to go. As you can see right now, just have to place it on whatever location I want it to be. So here's the rock now. I can now go and bring my knight now. Go back to my file manager, then I'll drag it into my Photoshop. So I'll reduce the size to a well reasonable size. I think this is about okay. But even me dropping in this way, it doesn't seem as if it's standing there. It doesn't look that real. So I'll just have to drag it below the rock layer so that it will be as if it's standing in within the rock. So that being said, you can now start to bring in other PNG files. So, and for we to make this rock more realistic, why not we put a little bit of blood stain on it? You know, we talking about battlefield, so there should be blood on the scene. Even on my model face, I will have to put blood there to make it more real, more realistic enough. So I'll just go to my file manager now. Go to my file manager. I have some blood splatter over here. I'll just drag this one in particular. Take it to my Photoshop. Wait for it to load up. Click on my OK. As you can see, it's below the layer I want it to be. I'll just have to drag it above, which is here. Then I'll right click on it. Then I'll create a clipping mask on it. As you can see right now, I'll change the blend mode from normal. I'll change it to soft light or overlay, anyone if you like. I think overlay bring out more color, as you can see right now, which look very real. So that being done, I'll go back to my file manager again. So this time around, I want to be adding this file. So this file is a PNG file. You just have to drag it to my Photoshop again too. Drag it. I'll adjust the size to whatever size I want it to be. So wherever I want it to be, I'll click on my OK. But I want it to be below this my rock layer. Just have to drag it below it. As you can see, I have to drag it below it. But the issue I'm having with it right now, it's having a sharp line over here, which is looking more obvious that we brought it into Photoshop. So we are going to be cleaning this off by using our gradient map, just as we always do. But before we do that, we have to just create a layer mask. Click on our layer mask. Then we'll pick our gradient tool. Make sure the color is on black. Then we'll drag over the area that we don't want to be there. As you can see, our fire blended in perfectly. So that being done, let's add a little bit of fog, a little bit of smoke to whatever we just brought in right now. So I'll click on the layer that is very close to my model layer. This is my model layer over here. So I'll click on the layer that is very close to it. Just have to go back to my file manager and I'll look for where my smoke is. Okay, this is it over here. I'll just have to drag it to my Photoshop. As you can see, we add a little bit of fog to it. Increase the size. I'll click on OK. But the fog we added now is only for the background, it's not on our model. So I'll duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl J. Then I'll drag this above my model so that one will be below her and one will be above her, which will make it look more realistic, as if the fog is also covering her a little bit. So that being done now, you know, we're talking about war frontier, we're talking about war, even though it's not our own modern age, but we're still talking about war right now. So there has to be casualties. So we are going to bring in score of humans so that to make it look real enough. So here are the scores I'll be bringing in. They're already grouped all together. Just have to drag it to Photoshop. Then I'll adjust the size to whatever size I want it to be. I want it to be around there, so I'll just reduce the size. I'll click on my OK. I'll bring it below my model layer this time around. Make sure it's below our layer. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is that I'll be adding a little bit of blood stain to it also, just as I did for the rock. Just have to go back to my file manager. I'll pick any blood stain. I'll go with this time around. I'll drag into my Photoshop. I'll place it on it. I'll drag it to the location, as you can see right now. I'll click on OK. I'll right click on it. Then I'll click on create a clipping mask, as you can see right now. So we still have to change the blend mode from normal, change it to overlay. So it's looking that realistic so far, but I'll still bring in another file to cover up her leg. I don't want her leg to be showing that fully, so I'll still go back to my file manager again. As you can see, we've used about 10 overlays so far and 10 PNGs, if not up to that. So I'll just go back to my file manager. Then I'll pick this rock back again. I'll drag it back to my Photoshop. Then I'll bring it down here around this side. I'll click on my OK. This time around, I'll drag the rock above a layer because I want the rock to be covering her, as you can see right now. So here's how I want it to be. Just have to click on my OK. Then I'll go back and bring in another blood stain that will be covering this all up too. So go back to my file manager, I'll pick up the blood stain, I'll take it back to my Photoshop, I'll drag it to the location I want to be, I will extend the size, click on my OK. I'll still have to clip it on the layer below again, which is the rock layer, so that it's only going to affect the rock layer. It will not affect another document entirely, another picture entirely. So I'll just click on the clipping marks, then I'll still change it from normal, I'll change it to overlay also. As you can see right now, our manipulation look real. It looks somehow similar to this right now. So that being done, this hand is so empty. I want to add something here to make it more enticing. So I'll just go to my file manager, I'll bring in the fire. As you can see, I have them all stockpiled here. Just go drag it to my Photoshop. I'll reduce the size so that it's going to fit in our hand. As you can see, I just have to keep adjusting the size. I don't need to do much. Just have to click on my OK. It's going to blend in perfectly fine for me. All the files are already custom made. So that being done, now let's see what we are going to be bringing in again. There's still something we are yet to bring in, which is the ring light I have at the back right here. So I'll be showing you how to do that. Let's go back to our document right now. The ring light you'll be using right now, it has to be directly below our model layer. So I'll click, this is my model layer, I'll click on the layer directly below it. Now I'll go to my file manager. So here's what I'm going to be using right now. I'll drag it to my Photoshop. Then I'll adjust the size, to whatever size I want it to be. You might be thinking, how are we going to use this to achieve this? How are we going to use this to achieve this? Well, I'll be showing you how to do just that in this video. It's very easy. Firstly, as you know, when we brought in this overlay, it came with its own background, which is a black color. So firstly, for we to kill the black color, we'll change the blend mode from normal, we'll change it to screen. So it's going to delete anything that is black there. So after doing that, you just have to go to our filter. Under filter, we'll go to blur. Under blur, we click on radial blur. So I'll be using about 25. I'll be using 25 for my radial blur. Then I'll have to click on my OK. I'll wait for it to load up. And boom, automatically it does just that for us. So you can actually decide to use this for just a normal studio picture, not an extreme manipulation like this, and you actually get something nice. So we are done with the bringing in of file. Well, let's see if you still have another file we have to bring in. Well, so far so good, we are done with that. So now let's start our color grading process. So I'll click on the uppermost layer, which is this. As you all know, before I start my color grading, I love adding a little bit of vintage to my picture. So I'll just click on my clicker, mark where it's over here. I'll hold down my shift key, I'll hold the circle around my model, as you can see. Then I'll invert the selection, Ctrl Shift and I. I'll go to my adjustment layer, I'll click on solid color, make sure I fill it with the color black. Then I'll click on the marks, feather rate about 600 or so. 697 is okay. Just have to bring down the opacity, as you can see. Let me use 30 as my opacity. 33 is okay. But if you guys notice, I actually missed a particular step in this video, which is me applying the blood stain on her face and the blood stain on her clothes to make it more real. So let's just do that before we continue our color grading. So I'll click on my model layer. Here's my model layer over here. I'll go to my file manager again. Then I'll pick my blood stain, I'll pick it up, drag it to my Photoshop. Then I'll reduce the size. I'll have to zoom in to do just that. I'll reduce the size so that it's going to fit in our face very well. So I'll reduce the size and drag it. So I'll adjust it to whatever location I want it to be. I want it to be around there. But it's giving me some whitish look, which I don't like. at the edge, give me some whitish loop. So I'm going to remove that whitish loop right now. I will control click on it, then I'll create a mask on it. So I will now enter the mask now by double clicking on the mask. It's going to load up another panel for me. So I will have to scroll down. So I'll wait for it to load up. Just have to scroll down. Then I will drag down the shift edge, so it's going to remove all the whitish loop for me. Just have to click on my OK. As you can see, it has done just that. So let's add a little bit of blood stain to our code also. So I'll still make sure I click on my model layer and go back to my file manager again. So this is the blood stain I'll be using. Just have to drag it to Photoshop again. Then I'll adjust it to whatever location I want it to be. I want it to be around there. Click on my OK. So I'm going to clip it with my model layer. I'll right click on it, create a clipping mask. As you can see, it's only affecting my model layer. Then change the blend mode from normal, change it to overlay or soft light or whatever one you want it to be. Then click on my OK. So now let's jump back to our color grading process. As you all know, there's a particular lot I love using the most, which is my chocolate lot, and that's what I'll be using here, and also one other lot again. So for me to start color grading, I'll just go back to my adjustment layer over here. Then I'll click on my color lookup, load 3D lots, and I'll scroll down till I see what I'm looking for, which is my Mela chocolate. I'll just click on it. Boom, automatically it has created a low light image for us. But I still want to spice up the color a little bit to make it this good. So for me to do that, I'll bring in my second lot, which is my natural color. Just go back to my adjustment layer again, click on my color lookup, click on load 3D lot. I'll scroll down, click on my natural color. Boom, automatically it will do this color grading for us. But if the color grading is a little bit too much, you can just turn down the opacity, bring down the opacity until you see fit. This is okay by me. So let's see if we did what we say we are going to do. Here's the one I actually did before, and here is another prototype. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and also turn on the notification icon. If you have any question, you can contact me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.